Hey everybody, welcome back to Yeah I Said It. This is the relationship edition. I'm talking here with my sister, Melissa Scurry.
Hey.
She's doing her thing. She actually has her own blog that she just started too. What's the name of your blog, Melissa? Melissa?
It's called. I had to think about it.
That's
It's called.
parenting, everybody. That's parenting. She got a lot of
Yeah,
stuff on her
man.
mind.
My man just be everywhere. Yes, I have my little blog name up right now because I'm just that good of a blogger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to
Yeah, we'll come back to
because
that.
I don't know. I don't know the name.
But it's just with this podcast part of this podcast here, it's going to be basically just fun, friendly conversation. You're going to be learning a lot. We're going to talk about relationships, love, friendships, all those type of different things. And just kicking it like we normally do. So today it's going to be with my sister. So, quick question, Melissa. This is how we're going to start this thing off right quick. Um, what have you learned about yourself since
Mm,
you've been married? So for people out there, since you don't know, my sister has been married for about 5 years now.
5 years September.
Yeah, I'm working on year number two. Um, what have you learned about
Lord
yourself
help me.
that you were like, damn, I really need to improve on that because I didn't know that about myself.
To process before I react. That is something that I learned because I'm a little firecracker. Um, but I am learning to process and make sure we have a mutual understanding of the
Of the
conversation we're
conversation.
trying to have before I just pop,
Mm-hmm.
snap, pop, or crack, pop, smack, or crack, crap. You know what I'm trying to say. Rice
Crack, snap,
Krispies,
go pop, snap, crack, crackle.
that. I'm
Mm.
trying not to do that. Yup. I'm just trying to be, a good wife and mom. Then nobody prepare me for this marriage stuff. Prepared, no preparation for that. You just jump into it and you're just there forever because you told God you was there forever. So here we are, forever, forevering together.
I mean, I would say the thing that I've probably had to learn about myself is that uh, I don't listen as well as I thought I did.
Mm.
Um, a lot of the times when my wife would say something or we're having a just a regular conversation, I'm like, yeah. Because normally when we having a really good conversation, or when she wants to have a conversation, like that, is when I'm trying to watch the game or I'm trying to I'm trying to do something or focusing on something else. Don't be shaking your head. It's just the truth. I'm being honest here. I'm being honest about myself, but it's just the truth. Like
Be
what we were
honest.
talking about yesterday. But for real, like I don't know, man. It's just a lot of times that I learned that I didn't listen as intently as I thought I was. And then she's like, "Oh, we already talked about that. You just don't listen. You don't really be paying attention to what I'm saying." Or I can be listening or I can be focusing in, but it's not I
Chris
don't
always been like that though.
yeah, but I don't receive it the same way. Like the way that she meant it, I don't receive it that way.
Hmm.
So
Intent is important. So I think, and especially in heated conversation, whenever you're in a heated conversation, not saying that you're in one, I think stating your intent of the conversation. Like, I'm not saying this with the intent to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm telling you this because I need you to do something about it. So intent is important. Knowing the other person's intent.
yeah, but when you see most men,
I sound smart, don't I?
oh please. Most men always feel like man, I don't do anything right. So we're just like, man, here she go again. She killing me again. What did I do wrong now? That's the first thing we think. Like we were talking about the other day. Um, I think the thing that helps a lot of men is the conversation we were having, that neither me nor whatever woman I'm speaking to, me or my wife, we can't go into it being defensive and with our guard up. We have to be
Mm,
more susceptible to what the other person is saying first and actually hearing them
mm,
before, instead of just thinking about the rebuttal I want to say because she's
exactly.
wrong, I'm right. More of, all right, I'm hearing you, but okay, I'm getting your perspective on this. Let me give you my perspective, instead of we're just like, well, she said I did this, I didn't do that, so I'm about to tell her that I didn't do that, and da 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 da, or whatever the case may be. What you rolling your eyes for? It's the
Mm.
truth.
Yeah, listening to understand versus listening to reply. So just taking yourself out of that defensive mode. This is a conversation between somebody I love. Why am I being defensive right now? Why am I ready to shoot down what she's saying? I didn't even hear what she said. Because you were so ready, preparing. Well, I did it because, well, if you heard what I said,
Yeah, say that again. Listening to understand instead of
listen to
listening.
understand instead of listening to reply.
That's a word. So, like, we had this conversation yesterday, and I
Listen,
was like, oh, we got to get this on on tape, because I feel like this would really help a lot of different people, a lot of different men, a lot of different women. Because it's not just men that do that; women do it too. So we all have to make it a collective effort when we're having these conversations. We can't just say, "Oh, it's all men" or all women." Nah, it's actually both of us. If we want to make this work, we got to come together and come to a common ground and understand where the other one is coming from. So, I mean, that's just how I feel.
exactly. Exactly. And that's why I was saying speaking with intent, because you need to know what your intentions are when you go into a conversation. What am I trying to get out of this? Like that's what you should think. I mean, sometimes it's in the moment, so you don't have that time, but taking that time, that's why I said processing before I snap, crackle, and pop. Taking that time to process, what do I really want to gain from this conversation? Do I want an argument? Do I want him to do better? Do I want myself to do better? Do I want him to just understand what I'm feeling? Just having a clear intent,
Mhm.
and knowing what your intentions are. Me going, intent is the difference in a crime. Like that can go from, I want to say like murder to manslaughter or something. Intent, like
Mhm.
intent is important.
Yeah, I think it's important to people for people to understand that you have to know what you want out of the relationship first. So if you don't know what you want in the relationship in the beginning, like, what's the point of arguing with them? What's the point of trying to work something out when you don't want to be with this person in the first place, or you're just trying to get? And people have to understand, if
I
this,
agree.
yeah, you got to try to have to figure out what this person is trying to get out of the relationship. Are they trying to have a relationship, or is this supposed to be like a regular uh weekly booty call type of thing situation? Because it ain't no point of arguing with that person, because you just be like, you know what,
Mm.
you're not, what I'm saying, you're not long term anyway. I'm just coming over
Next,
here. Yeah, I'm just coming over here smash and dash and
next.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you have to understand that part too. But
Mm,
it,
I think that's hard. I think that's hard because you never know when you first meet somebody what you want to do with it. Because I mean, if I think about it, when I first met my husband, I wasn't trying to be his wife. I mean, I was just, what up? You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no intent. I didn't have the intention to create a whole life with somebody. That wasn't my intent when I first met him. So, I feel like it's hard to say, set your intent at the beginning in a relationship. I think that's something that comes with time, getting to know
yeah, that's what I
somebody.
meant. I meant to say it, not like when you first meet them, like over time. Like, yeah, you at at a certain point
I don't
you'll
even feel
know.
like
Like,
after I got to know him, yeah, I'm like, I don't even know.
what'd you say? You kind of froze up right there. What'd you say? You said after you got to know him, what?
I said, even after I got to know him, I wasn't sure if I wanted to build a life with him. I'm just being honest. I wasn't sure that this is somebody I want to build a whole life with. Um, I think I had to change my intent on what I wanted for my life. to decide, does this person fit into what I'm trying to do? You know what I'm saying? What are my long-term goals? What is my, what do I see myself having or doing far out? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's
Hmm.
how I feel like you can pick a life partner.
Yeah, I feel like the same thing with me too. But um, like the one thing my wife used to say to me before she was my wife, like I knew when I met her again because we went to high school together. But I know you know this story, but when I met her again, then I knew that day, like, oh man, I'm I'm through. Like it's over for me. What am I going to do about this? Am I ready for this? Because I did not intend. My intentions was not to marry this girl. My intentions was, I'm just be quite frankly, I was in straight hoe mode. Like, hey, I got my own apartment, I got my own car. You know,
I remember.
I ain't relying on nobody. I'm just doing my thing. I'm working, got a job, making enough money to do whatever I want to do, taking care of my nephews and nieces. All those type of things. And I'm like, and I still got money to do whatever I want to do. You want to go out to eat? Let's go out to eat, babe. You know what I'm saying? We could go do this. You know what I'm saying? Just. And when I met her, I just slid into at that time it wasn't the DMs. It was a message. So sent her a message on sent her a message on MySpace and was like, it was on, yeah, 10 years, bruh. So like just reaching out and just be like, hey, what's up? And then we started talking and I'm like, man, she cool, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't, can't nobody hold a brother down. And then when I met her, I'm like, damn, I don't like the fact that I like her this much now. I might have to hang up my shoes. This is some bull. But yeah, I didn't intend to be like, oh, this is my wife. And then a lot of times I felt like I was blocking my blessing because I was looking for a certain type of person. So
What was
I'm
you looking
saying
for?
this is what I like. At the time I was a very shallow young man. I'm gonna be honest. I liked light skinned
I
girls
want to talk about that, so that's why
with
I asked. Go ahead.
with long hair and and which is fine. And I just like those type of ladies. The reason why I like those type of ladies because think about our family. Most of the women in our family are light skin, long hair. So in my mind is, oh, I'm gonna marry a girl with light skin and long hair, and she's pretty, like my mom and my aunties and my because all the people that love me back,
I ain't light skinned,
look,
I'm a sister.
I didn't like you back then. Let's be real. I didn't like you back then. I was like, man, nah. But of course, I mean, of course, you still have traits and things like that. But then I feel like God is like, yeah, you looking for this, but I'm sending you this. And a lot of times he don't
Right.
send you what you want, he sends you what you need. So when he sends you what you need, you shun it because you're like, man, I don't need that. But you do need that. And then when you realize you need that, you're like, but that's not what I want. Yeah, it is, because if you don't get that, you not gonna be
Mhm.
blessed. You're just gonna be sitting out here by yourself. And that's just what it is. So, and I try to tell people a lot of the times, like that I have people that friends that are like single and they're like, I don't understand why I'm still single and I'm such and such age and blah blah blah. Like I met this girl, she was like, I think she like 26, and she was like, well, now I just ain't got no hope because ain't nobody out here, ain't no good man out here. I just don't want to be with nobody. I said, well, what are you looking for? You trying to be married or you trying to be in a relationship? She's like, I'm trying to be married. I thought I was gonna be married by now with all these kids and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, um, but what are you looking for? She was like, well, I just want, you know, I want a man. Like all these dudes are just boys. I'm like, okay, what do you want the man to be like? Oh, he got to be tall. He got to be like 6'3". He got to be about like 225 pounds and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff was physical stuff that she's looking for. And if he didn't meet those requirements, she'll shun him. So I was like, I said, well, my wife, when I met my wife, she was fine, but I was like, she didn't look like nothing that I thought my wife was going to look like. So I'm sitting up here and I'm like, God ain't gonna send you what you want. He gonna send you what you need. So it might be that the little dude that's only 5'10", 175 pounds might be the dude that you need and he sends you, but you just shunned him because he wasn't a certain height and he wasn't a certain build. And she's like, but my standards, that's not height. Heights and weights are not standards. They're
Yellow.
there are requirements that you want that you set on your life, but that's not that's not reality. You have to you have to understand everybody is placed in your life for a reason. So if you can't sit up there and shun somebody just because they're not a certain height or a certain weight or whatever the case may be, because you never know when you're gonna meet your person, the person that's supposed to be for you for the rest of your life. I definitely wasn't trying to. I definitely wasn't ready. Hell, shoot, even after we met and we was dating for a while, I still wasn't ready. But I was like, I know I ain't going nowhere because I ain't going nowhere.
I agree with that. Cause I definitely, cause listen, that's why didn't nobody come to my wedding, cause it was like, you ain't marrying him. That is not that guy. That is not you. That's not you. That's nothing
Hey,
that we
hey,
ever seen. That nah, you just playing.
hey, I was there.
But yes, you were. Thank you, and I love you, cause you gay. But I got that so many times. Like, are you for real? Like, you really gonna do that? Like, yeah. Like, yeah. Because I was so, and when you said that, like, he not gonna send you what you want, you're gonna get what you need. And he's exactly what I pray for when I think about it. Even though he get on my last, he's exactly what I pray for. Somebody who's gonna love me and man, completely, wholeheartedly, and with no reservations. Um, Somebody who's gonna be there for me. Somebody who's gonna come to this table because I already got one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a table too, and we're gonna figure out how to make a bigger table. And that's exactly what we did. And I feel like he added that stability to my life. Because I was a little, I mean, I've always been a mature person, but he added that stability to my life, and he was so much older, which that's a whole nother story. But we just mesh. Like when we own, we read each other's, man. I know each other's thoughts. We be in the same place, and I'd be like, man, this remind me of the Walking Dead. Be like, me too. Like that's how I'm like, we are so connected. But then we be off,
Mm-hmm.
we be off. But when we be on, we on.
You on?
And I feel like he's exactly what was sent for me, even though that ain't what I thought was gonna be meeting me at the end of that hour.
Mm-hmm.
When I pictured it when I was 21 or 19 or anything like that, he's not the person that I saw standing there. Um, but I don't think at this point I would imagine anybody else standing there.
Yeah, like even all the way down to like the dreams I used to have, like the visions and stuff. I used to dream about getting married, and then when it comes to the part, the woman would have like a veil over her face, and then I'll lift the veil, and then she wouldn't have a face. I'd be like, I'll wake up like, what the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that about?
Weird.
When I got married, I'm a weirdo, but when I got married, my wife didn't even wear a veil.
Mm-mm.
She told me that she was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna wear a veil. I think it's gonna be like this, like the little thing around over my face. Man, she came down that aisle straight bare face, like, what's up? I'm like, oh,
Beautiful
beautiful. And
and
I'm over
beautiful.
here, teary eyed, like, man, I'm really getting married. This is crazy. I ain't gonna cry though. I didn't drop a
Definitely was
tear,
crying.
but
Chris, you
it was
definitely
trying to come. I did
was
not
crying.
cry.
Definitely crying.
Why y'all saying that? I was about to cry. It
Chris,
was
I
like
was
right
there.
there. It was like right there. And what I'm saying, I had to suck that
Then it
down.
went
Come on. Nah.
down there. He was crying, bro. I got pictures. I got pictures you crying with
Listen, I
your
cried.
mama, bro. He was crying. You was a baby that night.
I cried
Your
when I
brother
danced with my
too.
mom. Oh no! Oh, that's a whole different story. I wasn't even expecting that.
He was an emotional wreck. It was like his whole look. He thought he was getting married. His whole life changed. Like he really about to do it. He did it. Like he was a man. your brother.
He
He
was
was a
like,
mess.
he couldn't even get the words out. And I told him, see, the thing is about when people get married, it's a very emotional process. So you're emotionally tired and drained. You get married, so you're already
Mm-hmm.
emotional. The people that's in
Mm-hmm.
the wedding is emotional. People that's not in the wedding is emotional, all for different reasons. So like when I'm even looking back at the pictures, like Derek was crying during Sean's speech, Jeremiah was crying, I was told during Sean's speech, like
Girls, everybody
people in the
cried.
crowd was crying. I'm like, yo, it's a very emotional thing. And I wasn't expecting all those people to be emotional. I expected, I'm like, man, I know at some point this is all gonna come pouring out. So when he started his speech, before anything started, I said, look, I just want y'all to stand up and say something. Brother, like, what you want us to say? I'm like, say whatever is on your heart, bro. He's like, bro, I got it. I'm a writer. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I got it,
You
man. It
read
ain't
that.
nothing. I said, all right. I'm like, are you sure, man? It gets real emotional up there because I spoke at Derek's wedding the first time he got married. Man, listen, I did not expect to be up there crying, but I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We already had this is goes back all the way to childhood when we was kids. Like, man, when I get married, I'm gonna do this and da, da, da. We made plans and the kind of women we was gonna have. We had the opposite of everything we said we was gonna have,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just how you know what I'm saying. God funny like that. So all of those things step into the all of those things come into play because you start thinking about those things and replaying them like, man, I remember we used to talk about doing this type of stuff. So for it to come to fruition, yeah, you getting emotional like, man, this is a beautiful thing. And then this fool gets up there and I told him, I said, look, man, it gets emotional up there. I'm trying to tell you, write it down or take you some tissue. We don't need no tissue. This fool got up there, said, my brother.
He didn't need no tissue. Man needed that. He
I
needed
was
his
like,
mommy.
bruh.
He needed some love and a hug from his mommy. That man was boo hooing. Okay.
I looked at Kendra. I said, I told that fool. And did he have a piece of paper in his hand? I don't remember.
Oh, he did. He had a
No.
napkin in his hand.
See, I looked at Kendra. I said, I told this fool to write it down because it gets emotional up there.
I mean, because her sisters got up there like their devices. Yes, and I think Chris is my brother. And yes, we love Chris. They all had their phones. And then her gonna shout at all your people like, oh, I'm prepared to them all. They was like, they had their books written, the girls, and
Even
your guys like,
right, even though they were emotional, they already like, I got it on my phone, so I'ma still read from this. These
mm-hmm.
fools, see, Mike was cool, Derek was cool. He almost broke down during the end. Then when Sean got up
No,
there,
he cried too.
it was over. Oh, Derek cried? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everybody cried when Sean was talking. Everybody. Want to drive the house. I ain't know none anyway. Want to drive now. People had to walk away, and it
Yeah, but it's just it's a beautiful thing. Um, I wouldn't change
Am
anything
I
about it.
watching the patio on TV? Yes, you can.
Everybody that was
No,
Kyron Howard wanted to
no,
let
ask
you
her. You
know.
don't tell her. Ethan, you have to turn on the patio TV. Is that what I just said? I said she has to do nothing. You got to turn on the patio TV. Ass, boy. Dang, these kids disrespectful. I don't know whose kids did this. My kids have
They
manners.
your kids. You can't do nothing about them kids.
My kids have manners. I don't
You
know.
you cannot deny your children. They're your children. They look like you. They act like you.
Mm-mm. Them boys, wow. That
Now
girl too.
he is a future track star in the family. He is training currently to be the world's fastest man.
Is that's his boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. The
Don't
world's
mess up his
fastest
title.
boy. And he's doing this by moving in slow motion.
Only when I ask him to do something.
Only kid I've ever seen that. Only kid I've ever seen that done. He is hilarious, and that's okay. What would you say is the best thing about marriage, and what would you say is the most difficult thing? Because I'm not gonna say the worst thing. I would say the most difficult thing, the most challenging thing. So the best thing,
Challenging thing in
challenging.
my particular marriage is forgiveness. After
Mm.
you've been wronged, forgiveness. Cause you know this vocabulary on me, I can hang with the best of them. But I can give you a tongue lash out of this world continuously for 365 days. But learning to, if you say you're going to forgive somebody, stop bringing it
Mm-hmm.
up. Stop
Mm.
bringing it up. Because you just bringing yourself back there. You know what I'm saying? You upset them because you told me you was moving past it. You like it's just it ain't good for nobody. So forgiveness and when you really say you're going to forgive them, like you really need to be able to move past it and not bring it up. What if they bring it up? You got to bring it up with facts.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your receipts, but then we can let it go again. Just saying. But that's probably for me. In this marriage, what I've probably been the most challenging thing is finding that forgiveness when somebody did you wrong,
What would you
and
say is the best thing?
finding somebody you can build with, like literally build with. Like that's my partner. Somebody asked me a question: what was the best partner you ever had in your life? And that was talking about work, friendship, so on and so forth. And in some ways, I would still say him because we made so many great moves together. Hey, I'm being honest here.
Mm-hmm. I see. I
We've
see.
made we made so many great moves together. So I would say that's knowing that's my partner.
Mm-hmm.
Partner, you got to ride with me. You got to. You told God you was. Okay, disappoint God if you want to. You
Yeah.
had told him you was.
Yeah, I would say that's the best part about my marriage too. The best part of about my marriage is that we are truly partners. Um, especially everything that we've been through, as far as my personal health and just things that we've been through. We've lived a full life compared to some other people. You know,
Agree.
from
I can feel that.
so for her and me to make it through all of that,
Mhm.
it's just all I can do is call it a blessing, because a lot of times, when you go through stuff and you go through trials, you go through tribulations,
It'll
um,
break you.
it'll break you. It'll break you real quick. And for those that don't know, I had a stroke, and she was the only one. We was in Vegas for a wedding, and for me, I had a stroke there, and I had to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, something ain't right. And I was like trying to say something under my breath because she's still asleep, and I couldn't say anything, like it's not coming out. And I'm like, walked over to the window, was like, it's not coming out. So I'm like, oh man,
Mm.
I gotta wake her up. And I'm like, I had to wake her up, and that whole thing was just, it was an experience. Um, but through that, before that, we got into a car wreck. Remember, we got into a car wreck, and yeah, I mean, like we were fine, but just just everything we've gone through, like, um, I was there when she found out her grandfather. I was actually in Missouri to visiting her, and she found out her grandfather passed away. I was there. I think I was going back home the very next day. And she actually tried to go to work that day, came back and was like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I told you not to go.
Mhm.
Um, just everything went through that. Some of my friends passed away, and it just so you called me, and I was with her, and was like, man. And at that time, I didn't even have money to get back home to even see my friends that passed away. So, just through everything, I say that's the best part. She has always been there for me through the whole thing when I had the stroke. through everything, ups, downs. Um, and I'll say probably the most challenging thing, hmm, I would say communicating when we're upset um, with one another. So, like, if I'm upset with her, I'm the type of person, and she's the type of person that would just not say nothing and just be mad. So, trying to communicate that and be like,
That's retarded. I'm gonna just say it. I hope nobody's. That's just not
well, she's not going to hold it
moving
in. She's
forward.
going to say something and then she's going to be mad. And I'm like, but
Since this
what you,
vocabulary here,
yeah.
I'm gonna use it.
But see, I'm the type of person that I will just bottle it up and then it all comes spilling out at one time. So I have to get better with that, obviously. And I feel like I am getting better with it. But I would say communicating and learning how to listen. Like, what was your line again? Listen to hear and not to respond, or
Listen to understand
listen.
the
Yeah,
perspective, point of view.
yeah, that. So I think that's probably the two most. That's really is really all encompassing. So those are the most challenging parts about it. But everything other than that, I have we have way more ups than we have downs. Like downs might happen once or twice a year for us, and then everything else is pretty much Gucci. So I mean, I
How long
think
y'all been living together?
we've been together for 10, almost 11 years. How old is Riley's 10 years old? Yeah, we've been together for almost 11 years now. It'll be 11 years in September, like late September. But we've
Yeah,
been,
nobody remembers that. But anyway,
I
how long
just, I just
y'all?
remember I came in.
How long have y'all lived together?
Oh, live together. Ooh, that's a good question. Um, and we lived there. Then I'll say, what is it, 4 years? No, it ain't been that long. About 3, 4 years.
Yeah, not long. So I've been living with this man for almost 8. Okay, communication. Mm,
That
mm.
and when you move in, like a lot of people say that the person that you been dating all this time, when y'all move in together or when y'all get married, it changes. It's still the same. It's just that stuff that you didn't notice before,
You can't leave.
now, and you can't leave. You can't leave. You
Don't
cannot
you be the
leave.
quitter.
Don't you? Yes. Don't you be the quitter to be like, oh
You
man,
better
I
not
can't
leave.
do
Better
this.
walk out this room and find another one.
Yeah, but you better, hey, make it back before I go to bed.
He better find him a room in this house that he want to sit in and cool off.
You better find your way
Ain't
back home.
nobody
That's
leave.
hey, that's and that has to be understood amongst both of you. Like, hey, I don't care how mad you get. You can get as mad as you want to get, but you can
Mm-hmm.
leave. You can do whatever. You can throw a tantrum. You can go talk to your mama. Go talk to your sister. You can go talk to your brother. You can talk to whoever you want to. If nah, I'm not talking to my mama because
Oof, you done said the mama.
no.
Okay. Edit this part out. Look, edit this part out. The mama. The problem is he's a mama's boy.
Look,
Okay?
leave it now.
Mama's boy. Mama's back. Let me tell you what he just did. Since we out here right now, let me go ahead and tell you what he just did. So Kyron got a low fever, but see, I'm his mama. I said, Kyron, yesterday when he came home, I said, how you feeling? He was like, I'm all right. I said, my son don't look right. He like, son, go get them bags out the car. I'm like, but he don't look right. He like, he fine. He been in stores with me. Hold on, pause. What? My son during the Rona went into a store? Why? Why he going to a store? He had a mask on. He don't go in the stores. My son sits in the car. I thought that was the point of your mama going with you, so my son could sit in the car. You know what? He took my son in the store. Now my son got a fever today, but okay, I'm not pointing blame. So then, so now he got a fever. You know what he gonna do? Mind you, I'm his mama. I said, Kyron, here, eat this popsicle and then just chill out. Don't put no blanket on. You got a fever. I don't need you to do that. He gonna call his mama. His mama talking about get some cool water and some alcohol and rub him down. What? That's my son. I'm his mother and I'm here. Why are you calling your mom? What's she gonna do? That's my son. Yeah.
Well, Melissa, don't act like you don't call your mom for home
That's me.
remedies.
I'm the mother. I'm the
Okay, and
mother.
But he's calling his mom. He's like, "Hey, mom,
It's,
I just got a question. Kyron has a little bit of fever. I just wanted to get your opinion on what
her
I should
son's
do."
sickly. I don't want her advice. Look at my husband. He falling apart. I don't want her advice on how to
Well, I see what you said. I see
take
what you're
care of the
saying.
kid. Her kid's falling apart. What?
I see what you're saying. You're like, "Hey, it's your fault
Alex,
that my son is sick in the first place because I told you not to take him to the store. I told you let him sit in his butt in the car. But nah, you just had to take him into the store. Now you know he gonna touch everything in this damn place.
who don't know Kyron? Who don't know Kyron? Who?
So why'd you take him in here? No, I'm not gonna receive no advice from your mama because it's your fault that she's sick in the first place.
Why she didn't say he shouldn't go in there? She was with you,
Oh,
and
oh,
she didn't say that either. So I'm not taking her advice. Rub my
I'm,
son down. I'm not saying it's bad advice, but I ain't taking it. Her kids is falling apart. You know, he got all this health issue. I'm not listening to her. I'm like, she ain't even take care of herself. I ain't
okay,
listening to her.
I gotta edit this out.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't got to. This could be your blooper reel. You can put it in there. I don't care because he already know what his mama on now. Because you know how she try to play my mama. And she worse than me. So
Hey, moving
be on that
on
next time.
to brighter
Anyway,
subjects.
but yeah, that happened. That's my life. Yeah, I
Hey,
probably
that's just
said
how it
that.
really be. Like that's just how our conversations be. See, when I'm on the phone with her, this is literally how it goes. She's like, you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. That's
You said
ladies
mama,
and
so I'm
gentlemen. This
like,
is the real Melissa Scurry. This is exactly why I wanted her on the first one because
yeah.
she's like, you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what this fool did. This fool gonna sit up here,
He
give my
said on you
son a
because I'm his
popsicle
mama.
when I
And I
told
had
him
to
that he can't do
explain to
that.
him, he swear,
Yeah, I hear
exactly,
you.
exactly. And see, that's the problem is as far as him and his mama, he think I got a problem with his mom, but it's not. I don't have a problem with his mom. Pe- Go with me, people. Go with me. His mom, he loves unconditionally, as he
You
should.
should. Mm-hmm.
It's his mother. He doesn't get another one.
Mm-hmm.
But me, his wife, is not unconditional. You know, it comes with conditions. I could like me, I said forgiveness, right? He don't have that same vibe. He's still working towards that. Even though I ain't did nothing, I ain't got nothing to be forgiven about. Listen. But is he views me as so he was like, well, I don't get another mother. You shouldn't feel like you can get another wife. I should be that same irreplaceable part of your life. That's how I feel. He feels like, but you in real life, you will get you in life. Okay, just like you get your stepmama. I don't understand what you're saying. It's not the same. I feel like if you committed your life to that person, that should be your irreplaceable part of your life, like your children. You should hold that same value that you do on your mother as you do on your wife, but it's a whole different kind of love. But I feel like it should be unconditional, and
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't be something that you feel like is replaceable. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you always have divorce in the back of your mind. You know what I'm saying? What you think? What do you
Mm-hmm.
think? Because that's how.
My wife comes before everybody. I mean that, and be honest with you, that's what get a lot of people hung up on not getting married or whatever. Your wife is supposed to come before everybody. Your husband's supposed to come before everybody. And as hard as this is to say, if he's doing everything he's supposed to do, he's supposed to come before everybody. Um, I love my mama. I love my mama unconditionally, but if she wrong, she wrong. If my wife wrong, I'm gonna back her up. And then when we get to the side, I'm like, look, you was motherfucking
We
wrong.
go back. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm like, hey, you was
Mm-hmm.
wrong. I'm just letting you know. So now you need to call such and such, and you need to apologize to him because you was wrong, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever that was. But yeah, your wife and your husband. Your wife comes first. If your
That's
husband
what.
comes first, that's literally see. But that's how we were taught. We were taught like, hey, this is what this is. Even though our mother wasn't married, but that's what she used to say. So she's like, look, in the Bible it says. even though we didn't go to church. In the Bible, it says
I
he.
did.
I mean, I went to church. Me and Sean went to church, but I'm just saying, like, not as a family, like, how traditional Americans go to
Right.
church. So,
Touch.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it. I still went to church, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you definitely are supposed to have your wife's back at all times. You're not supposed to. I'm not going to say what I'm trying to find a word, like out her in front of other people. Like, you guys are a team. You are one. Y'all became one. So if she's wrong, we wrong.
Of
But
course. Head and neck.
right. But when we leave the other people, then we need to going, hey, we in the car. Okay, look, you was wrong. That's how it's supposed to be. Or, hey, won't you try doing it this way instead of doing it that way? Why? Because of blah, blah, blah. Why? Because you was wrong. Or you didn't do that whole thing correctly. Whatever the case is, you definitely need to have a conversation, but you're not supposed to have it in front of other people. You're just supposed to have that separate from everybody else. That's just how I feel. I appreciate you guys for joining us for this very special edition of Yeah, I Said It, relationship edition. Um, I'm gonna do more of these. I said this when I first initially established the channel, is that I didn't want. I'm definitely gonna have another channel, but it's gonna be on the same YouTube channel. Um, I definitely want to have this channel be expanded to other avenues. I don't want to just talk about just relationships. I don't want to just talk about sports. I, I, I'm more of a layered individual than that, and I want my channel to reflect that. And that's just what it is. I want my channel to be for men and for women. You guys for appreciate you guys for watching and supporting, and like, subscribe, and tell somebody about. Man, didn't you see that? Yeah, I said the episode. They went in. So let them know. Spread the word. Deuce.